First of all, I'd like to say welcome back to the channel, and here we're going to make a 18-inch deep Langstroth deep brood frame out of two normal Langstroth brood frames. Start off by measuring 4 centimeters into the timber. Basically what we've done there is put the two bottoms together and then measure the 4 centimeters. What we're going to do is cut the timber where I've marked it, 4 centimeters either side. Take care to keep these pieces of timber off both frames intact, because we are going to use them as strengthening supports down the edges. So you can either use a jigsaw or just a normal saw or axe saw, whatever you prefer. Cut straight through and keep the piece of timber like so. Then we're going to get the timber that we've cut off and pre-drill the holes. I'll point about 4 holes in here. Pre-drill it, otherwise you're going to split this timber, because it is only cheap timber that they make these frames out of for the bees. So pre-drill them like so, and we're going to repeat that with the other piece of timber that we've took off the other brood frame. There you go, 4 holes. So put the two pieces of timber together like so, and you don't have to do this, but I'm drilling the holes in exactly the same place, but it's not necessary, but I just found it easier to do it this way. And when we drill these into the side of the 2 frames and join them together, we don't need to do any more drilling, just put the screws straight through like so. So we're starting off with the 2 frames together here. I'm just going to drill a pilot hole through the first piece of timber like so, ready to join them 2 pieces of timber at 4 centimeters. I've actually started by putting the wood glue on these 2 bits here. Then I've started to put the screws in. You might find it a little bit easy to put the screws in first and then put the wood glue on, because I started having the wood glue dripping down, so a bit of a mistake on my part, but you know, worst things have happened at sea. Just putting my finger on there just so I can feel the screw coming through. Line them up correctly. You want to get them lined up quite well. Just use a normal screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and get those screwed in either end. Like so, there you go. So it's both them bits with wood glue on, and they're both screwed in. Check they're all lined up. Just putting a bit of a support under there. Now I'm getting one of the pieces of timber that I've cut out the centre, putting the screws in. Just got that screw coming through just a fraction so it grips to the timber when I put it on the side. Just put my finger on there, I can feel it coming through then, you see. You can put the screws anywhere you like, but just position them so they're actually going to sort of go in the correct place for support. I sort of like got two towards either side of that centre, and then one either side, one either side of near the ends. And you will note that I have left a little bit of a gap on that bottom frame there, just about get my finger, you know, between the gap. And that is because I want the larger gap at the top, because it just makes it easier to lift the frame in and out the hive with having the bigger gap at the top there. Doesn't matter at the bottom, you see, because it could go right down to the bottom if you wanted it to. Thinking about it, you will need to put wood glue on them side supports as well. What you got to bear in mind is this is like a double brood frame joined together. When there's all the brood on there, the pollen on there, honey, full of bees, that is going to weigh quite a lot, so you don't want it breaking. So screws and wood glue are advised. Get it all screwed on and lined up. No urgency on where you sort of put that piece of timber, to be fair. But yeah, I have seen this done on somebody else's YouTube channel. It's just normal wood glue, that is. Don't matter if it's interior, exterior, just get some PVA wood glue. But yeah, I have seen this done on somebody else's channel, and apparently the bees will do a circular brood pattern because they've got a bigger area to do it. So I look forward to seeing that. Just make sure it's all lined up, wood glue on, screws in. Now let my screws actually come through towards the wax, but it didn't really make any difference, to be honest. And just repeat the same process on either side. Straighten your wax up, because it just sort of, because you've took that piece of timber out the bottom, it just sort of like goes a bit wavy. Now I'm just filling up any gaps that I see in the timber, just to make sure it's all glued up properly, because these frames are going to be in the actual observation hive that I'm putting them in for years and years. So they're not, you've got to make sure they're about right, because I ain't going to touch them again, am I? Right then, and here I am, just basically repeating the same process on the other side. Bit of timber, screws in, wood glue, line it up, and get it secured. There you go. Wood glue on. Screw it in. Just don't over tighten them screws, because that timber's so soft it'll split it, especially if you put screws in towards the end. So yeah, just be a little bit careful there. But when all the glue set and everything, it's pretty solid, because you've got the side supports and then 4cm bits of timber just there with screws in as well, so it's not going anywhere, I can assure you. Just filling the cracks in on the second one, and there you go, job's a good one. So what we've got to do now is secure that middle section up with a piece of the wax, because you took that bottom piece of timber out, it's like just all over the place, that bottom wax is. So I've just got a spare bit of wax off one of the frames. I'm using a soldering iron to melt and join the strip up with the two pieces of wax frame that are in the frames. So just very lightly run your soldering iron on the edge, being careful not to push the soldering iron through the whole lot. Just put a bit of support on there, because it can move a bit whilst it's whilst the wax is not set. So I'll do both sides. There you go. Just like run it across dead gently till it starts melting into the wax frame underneath. I couldn't think of any other way. I did try super gluing these, but that just don't work. So you need a soldering iron for this. Get it all straight and lined up, and just keep running the soldering iron, melting it till it sort of bonds with the two sheets in the frame. And once it's gone off and dried, it does the job. I mean, it don't look the part, obviously, but when they start building their own cone on there, you'll never even see that strip. So that's basically, you've got to do this to support it all, because you've took that piece of timber out, you see, so it just needs supporting. And this is the best way of doing it that I could think of, to be honest. There you go. So I've done the one side, and I'm just doing the other side for, make sure it's completely like soldered together with wax, basically. But when it's all done, it yeah, it does the job. Like I say, you ain't even going to see it anyway once they get to work on this. It'll be really, really interesting to see them do the pattern that they're going to do on it, the brood pattern. And that's basically all you've got to do. Quite easy, to be honest. There you go. Right then, boys and girls, here is the 18-inch deep. There you go, to show you. 18-inch deep, double brood Langstroth frame. Now, I've seen this done on another YouTuber's channel who does beekeeping, and he basically ends up with a big brood pattern in a circle like that. So yeah, I will be looking forward to seeing this having some work done to it next year by the bees. Like I say, there is 3 of these. If you watched my last video, there's 3 of these going in there, and yeah, should be interesting to see the brood pattern and everything on it. So yeah, that's how you make your 18-inch double brood frame with the supports on there, because that is going to get quite heavy, that is. So watch this space for next year and see the bees doing their thing on them frames. Should be very interesting to actually see all the performance that goes on in there. Well, looking forward to it. But yeah, I hope you found this video interesting. Maybe you want to try it out yourself. What I am going to do is get my 3rd hive and have a normal Langstroth set up outside the shed, and I am going to do this configuration with a double brood box and then put them frames in it, hopefully. So yeah, hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, guys, and much appreciated for your view. Till next time, catch you later.